Hey guys, welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs,
And I'm David Woldingen.
and it's time for us to talk about Mizzou taking on the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Before we get into that, please guys go ahead and find us on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and on Spotify. David, some people were surprised that Mizzou remained number 23 in the rankings. For me, it wasn't a surprise. What say you about that?
Uh, at first, I was a little surprised, but then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, well, I mean, a lot of other teams lost that weekend, and we had a we lost in the last 20 seconds of the game. So,
That's
uh,
what I'm
it, it,
saying.
it wasn't a blowout. It wasn't a terrible loss at all. It was down to the wire, and it could have gone either way, quite honestly. So, when you think about how that game played out and everything, I could see them not dropping at all.
Yeah, Missouri on the road against a team ranked higher than them led with 16 seconds to go and then ended up giving up the heartbreaking touchdown. I If Missouri is in such a situation this week, something's gone terribly wrong. Let's just call a spade a spade. Mississippi State enters this game 2-8. They beat, I think it was Eastern Kentucky, I believe it was. It's off the top of my head. And they beat UMass, as did Mizzou. The difference was Mizzou was up 21 nothing like that on UMass. Mississippi State trailed 10 nothing after one quarter against UMass. So, yeah, that's I it's hard to be nice when describing Mississippi State's season. That's just long and short of it. There's no way to make 2-8 look pretty. Part of the reason it's been a struggle, David, is their quarterback situation. They lost their quarterback to a season-ending shoulder surgery. It's been Michael Van Buren Jr., who, as a freshman, doing a fairly nice job for him.
Yeah, he's solid numbers for a freshman. Uh, right about 55% completion rating, 7.2 yards per play. So, I mean, offensively, honestly, if I were Mississippi State, I'm not too concerned because they are moving the ball and scoring on teams. It's everything else that goes with it that they struggle with.
Yeah, he Van Buren. I looked at his stats and I saw -5 total rushing yards, and I thought, okay, the dude's a statue. And then I looked, four rushing touchdowns, a rushing long of 17. So he's certainly not an explosive guy, I wouldn't say, but he's capable of running the football and has some mobility. I think that speaks more to the offensive line for Mississippi State, right?
Mm.
So a chance for Johnny Walker and company to get after the quarterback, I would say. Um, let's talk about the Mississippi State offense some more while we're at it. They got two running backs, very similar, David, Johnny Daniels and Devon Booth,
Yeah, both right around 200 pounds.
both
Uh,
5'10", very
both
similar.
5'10", very similar, can be explosive at times. Both are honestly averaging close to 5 yards a game. Daniels, I believe,
Carry that
had
is, yeah.
yeah. Uh, so I mean, both can be quick hitters, if you will. If you're not careful, they can bite you from time to time. So that's something Mizzou's going to have to watch out for. However, Mizzou's defensive run uh, game is phenomenal. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know, especially with their offensive line, how much damage they'll actually do with their run game.
On the other hand, David, if there's one thing Mississippi State can do halfway decently, it is throw the football. That is something of note because if there's one thing Missouri is particularly bad at, it is defending the pass.
Especially at safety.
Oh gosh. Don't get me started. Marvin Burks needs to be a linebacker, but that's an entirely different video. Yeah, and this week will be interesting. Kevin Coleman Jr., St. Louis native, St. Mary's High School, third team in 3 years with Mississippi State, 62 catches, 750 some odd yards, leads team in touchdowns. He's, as I said, 62 catches. Nobody else on the team has as many as 30. So a clear number one target for Van Buren to throw to. And, playing against his hometown school, he's going to be up for this game, Coleman will be.
Yeah, I think the key in this one is can Mizzou get to the quarterback?
Yeah.
Uh, because if they can do that, it'll take the pressure off the secondary. That's what got them against South Carolina is we had no pressure on the quarterback, and some of that was by design due to their running ability. So if they can put the freshman under pressure, force them to have some bad throws, I think Mizzou will be all right. And it kind of covers the negative area of your secondary as well by doing that and protects them a little bit, if you will. But if they have all the time in the world to throw, Mizzou could really be in trouble again, just because who knows if Marvin Burks is going to be charging for the running back again, leaving an exposed corner.
Well, and so you talk about the corners. I mean, yes, Burks has his faults. I don't even think you have to look that deep. I think you're talking about corner. I think Dre Norwood is a solid second corner.
Yeah.
Going up number one, I think he'll hold his own most of the time, but against a guy like Coleman, he's probably going to give up some plays. Um, then you look at Toriano Pride, Nick DeLoach as your second corners, kind of splitting those reps, I guess, depending on the formation of the package out there. I don't. It's something where Missouri's just not good at corner. They're not.
What we thought might have been a strength has turned out to be a big weakness.
Yeah, it really is, and it's something Mississippi State can exploit. So, I mean, for me, Dre Norwood is following Coleman around all day, and there's always safety help over the top. That's what I'm doing. And whether it's Charleston or Marvin Burks or even Dalen Cardinell at the star position, to a certain extent, I'm saying, look, we're going to start with just assuming our front six is going to hold their own, front seven if you include Cardinell, I guess, the star. We're going to assume that they're going to hold their own in the run game. You guys pass, 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 pass. That's all you care about. And adjust from there, If
Staying at
Mississippi State it is running the ball well, okay, maybe you do need Burks crashing a little more.
staying at cover two and make sure you don't give up the big pass play.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd play a little more cover two than usual. Because honestly, explosive plays is the only way Mississippi State can beat you. And I have confidence in Missouri's run defense that it's not going to give up explosive running plays. I can think of the one, I think it was Vandy, maybe. They gave a one huge run all season. The run defense is there, so it's all about stopping the pass. Now, let's talk about Missouri on offense. Brady Cook, came back and honestly played one of, if not his very best game of the season.
Yeah, and he had a few bad throws here and there, especially when he rolled right. And some of that's
Yeah.
because of the ankle and not being able to snap his wrist.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So,
but
I mean, honestly, on some of those where it's clear the power isn't there, there is a little bit of a pass because he's not 100%. He's
right.
just good enough to give it a go. And I mean, when he had the time and was able to step into it, I know Gabe DeArmond on Power Mizzou said that the touchdown to Burden with a buck 10 to play, he thought that was the single best throw Brady Cook's ever made, and it's hard to argue.
Yeah, and he actually had quite a few good throws in that game.
Yeah,
Uh What impressed me more than anything though is the play calling was much better against South Carolina, and I'd like to see them continue to build off that.
Yeah, I think there was more assertiveness, frankly. I like the attitude of the play calling was more, we're doing this, try and stop it. And I think that, I mean, honestly, that it should have been that way all year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that spells trouble for a Mississippi State pass defense that's in the, not even in the top 100 in FBS. So I think the opportunity will be there for the first big Luther Burden game in 2 months. I think the opportunity will be there for Theo Weiss to have a huge game. And then we'll see who the third receiver is with the opportunity, whether that's Josh Manning, Mekhi Miller, anybody else.
Well, and I do
Um,
want to mention the offensive line last week played a stellar game, missing their center, having a
yeah,
backup
Drake
center.
Heismeyer, shout out.
Yeah,
Uh, it's I did not pay attention to, okay, this quarterback pressure came from here, but no bad snaps. And I think he had one false start, maybe where he like moved the ball or whatever, if I'm remembering correctly.
it happened twice. Actually, it happened twice, but
Point
you
being,
can't
for a
fault him
backup
for
center first start,
yeah,
take that all day.
yeah. And the line overall against South Carolina, that's a real tough defensive line. I thought they held themselves very well, and they started, especially in the second half, really opening up in the run game. If they can build off that, they'll control this game against Mississippi State on offense.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Missouri run game that, frankly, you feel like when they're healthy and they're right, they can run the ball against just about anybody in America. That's how I feel.
Oh
I
yeah,
really do.
there was a stretch in the South Carolina game where I think we ran 7 or 8 times just a stretch play, and we got
Yeah.
6 yards every time.
Yeah. And having a Nate Noel that's close enough to healthy makes a huge difference
Agreed.
because that stretch play is Missouri's most dangerous play, running the ball, and nobody does it on this team like Nate Noel. Even Quad Lacey, as promising as he looks, his game's a little different. And that's not to say Lacey won't be good. I think he's going to be a monster before it's over. Uh,
Both him and Roberts.
yeah, but Nate Noel, I think he'll be fine. He'll have about 100 yards, I imagine. And it's all about the passing game. Connect on a few big plays because they're going to be there, I feel like. And that's something where Mississippi State will just really struggle. Let's move into predictions here, David. Since we've last done a video, I had the family vacation. Well, we got roughed up. We both picked Oklahoma to smoke Mizzou, and that was just an insane game. And then,
Which was good.
yeah, yeah. So we both took an L on that one, and that was my first straight up loss of the season there. And I picked Carolina to win huge. Uh, they didn't cover.
I was
So I took
almost
an L on that one. You picked Mizzou to win, so you gotta win against the spread there.
yeah, I was almost right on the money, except the score was reversed.
Yeah. So the fun thing now is that I've got the better record picking straight up, but you have a better record against the spread.
Huzzah.
Yeah. The line for this game 7.5, opened at 8, from what I saw. That's interesting to me. That it opened at 8. I thought it had been more 10 to 12, and that since then the money's been on Mississippi State because it's moved down to 7.5.
It's all about that cowbell.
I don't get it. Some people are seeing something I'm not. I think this is one where Mississippi State has a hard time keeping up with Missouri. Their passing game will keep them in it, but Missouri will not be seriously threatened. Got the Tigers winning, getting win 8, 37-27.
Yeah, and quite honestly, I think you and I are thinking along the same lines.
Yeah.
Um, my thought process as well is if they can get that run game going like did against South Carolina, once they get ahead a little bit, they can really control the ball, the time on the clock, slow things down, keep their offense off the field, save our secondary a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, I have Mizzou winning 35-24, so we're almost identical with
Yeah, pretty close.
10 and 11 points spread, and that's without even talking to each other. So we were thinking it right along the same lines with each other on that one.
Yeah, Missouri's just going to have too many opportunities between a porous Mississippi State pass defense and a Mississippi State team that just commits penalties. They're committing an even 7 a game on average. They can't help but get yards. I think that'll be kind of the story. And yeah, I don't know. The line confuses me, honestly.
Yeah, never said I was smarter than Vegas though. So
Oh yeah.
they make their living off that, so they know what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They see something I don't, or the other way around. But yeah, here we are.
Anyway, with the season winding down, we'll keep you guys updated with all things Mizzou football. Keep an eye out as the basketball season's really starting to kick up in gear as well, and we'll have some more videos and information on that too. I believe December 8th is the Mizzou Kansas game as well, so we might have some video for that too coming out later on. So
Those
keep
are
an eye
getting
out for
healthy.
that. Yeah, yeah, true. A lot of things going on with all St. Louis sports, so make sure you stay tuned to us. We'll keep you updated with all things St. Louis. Thank you for watching.